Hi, welcome to Soulful Warrior Collective. My name's Veronica Powell, and thank you for joining me in this Arm Extravaganza yoga shred that I have for you today. So we have 3 rounds of yoga drills, high intensity interval training, HIIT training, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds of rest, and 3 different drills with 8 rounds of each of those. So that's plenty to really rev up the metabolism, rev up the cardio and heart rate for heart and whole body health, focusing in on the arms, strong arms, and all with this yoga alignment. So a great fusion. So let's get to it. I mentioned in my class description, hand weights are optional if you want to take it up. These are 2 pounds, between 1 and 3 is great, but there'll be enough challenges, so you don't have to add those. They're just optional. Blocks, I have 2 blocks at the top of my mat and have some water handy for hydration if you should need it. So let's come to the mat and find ourselves in easy pose, 1 foot in front of the other. And I like to just take my thighs, that love and sunshine, and just melt it into the mat and shimmy, anytime to shimmy on those sits bones and find your position in this lovely aligned posture. And then start as always with breath. So inhale, fill that belly. Let the rib cage expand, chest open, and then exhale, return to the root and lift up through the core, those lower abdominals and pelvic floor, and release through the mouth. Move that stagnant energy out, and then inhale, again, fill the body, but let that naturally fill and inflate. Inhale, rib cage, chest, and exhale. Maybe through the nose, maybe through the mouth. That's your choice right now. But if you are going for the nose and that internal breath, let the vibration and the sound come from deep down here in this root, and then lift up and release. Find another couple of breaths just here on your own to really get into this moment, into this practice that we are doing together. We are in it together. On your next inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, rotate through the wrist, expanding through the chest, opening wide. Bring your hands to your knees. Take a couple of shoulder rolls here and get into the shoulder area. Just wake those up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, come over in a side bend to your right side, tented fingers. Find that opposite hip going into the mat and expand in a nice side bend here. Inhale, on your exhale, bring that arm around with a nice bent elbow. Inhale, expand. Find these circles. Now they can be bigger circles or they can be smaller circles, but ease into it. We're warming up through the shoulder, finding that mobility and spaciousness. 1 more time, inhale. And then come up, inhale through center, over to the left again. Find the tented fingers and make that connection with the earth. Hip descending, opposite hip. Inhale here. On your exhale with a bent elbow, come round. Inhale, expand. So start to find a nice rhythm, a nice flow to the practice. Keep it light, keep it joyful, keep it strong. Come all the way around. Inhale, arms up through center. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, expand, breath of freedom. Feel that openness. Exhale, lift through the core and give yourself a hug and breathe into those shoulder blades. Inhale, open up. Feel that expansion. On your exhale, lift through the core and then give yourself a hug. Maybe opposite arm coming over, but feel the breath in that back body. Inhale, open, breath of freedom. Feel that freedom. Exhale, hug yourself and hold it here for a moment. Bring your right hand down onto the mat. Uncross your legs. Keep your right leg in front of you and extend your left leg out. Keep a nice softness in the knee. And then push into all of those fingertips and come up onto the side. So you're in this nice side plank alignment. Push into those fingertips, lift up through the body, shoulders on the back. Inhale, expand out. Keep the head back in line with the spine. Exhale, bend your back knee, bend your elbow, come around. So as you exhale, bring it in and inhale, find that expansion. Exhale, bend the elbow, bend the knee, push into the earth and expand through the body, through the side body, through the shoulders. Exhale, release, come back down to the ground, bend the knees, and then come back into your easy pose. Take a little circle one way and a little circle the other, and then find a wave through the body. Keep it nice and fluid. Bring your left hand to the ground. Find that placement at the fingertips. Pushing through those fingertips allows for you to really engage those muscles. Uncross your feet. Bring your right foot out. So foot coming out, nice soft knee, bent leg in front, and then push into those fingertips. Lift up through the hips and maybe expand arm out here. Arm can also be on your hips for a moment as you push into those fingertips. Lift up, head back in line with spine. Bring your arm up if possible. Exhale, bend that back knee, push into the earth, lift up, expand. Getting some real warmth through the body, through those shoulders. We're gonna need all of this lovely warming up as we use our arms in those shreds. Inhale, extend, feel that stretch through the body. Exhale, bend everything in and come back to the earth. Pause. And bring everything back to the earth. Uncross your legs and come around to tabletop. Back those shoulders away from your hips. Inhale, slide everything back. On your exhale, push up and breathe into those shoulders. This time, tuck your toes. Inhale, slide those elbows. Make sure they're coming in the same direction as your wrist and your hands. Inhale, everything back. Exhale, push up through your legs. Come off and come all the way into a nice downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your elbows, bend your knees. Exhale, roll out all the way to high plank. Find that position. Inhale, bend your elbows, bend your knees. Come back to downward facing dog. Exhale, roll up. So starting to find that flow. Bend your elbows, bend your knees. Exhale, inhale, exhale, roll out to plank. Bend everything back. Exhale, roll out. One more time, find that circle. Exhale, roll out to high plank. Hold here. Bring your knees down. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend your elbows. And then inhale, push up. 1, 5 of these. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold here for a moment. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower all the way back. And yes, those triceps are getting nice and warm. Shoulders are nice and warm. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, lift in the core. And as you lift, inhale, expand through the chest. Exhale, lift up through the core and come back into your downward facing dog. Pedal here for a moment. Inhale, bend your elbows, bend your knees, look forward and either jump or step to the middle of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bent knees, slide those hips back. Bring your hands out in front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend everything. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend down, forward fold. Slide the hips back, weight in the heels, and then from here, inhale, and then exhale, push into the earth. Use the earth, lift through the core. Feel that ripple and wave as you inhale up to mountain and exhale back. Hands into your heart. Take your legs out wide here into temple pose. So turn your toes out to your turn out. Check the front of your knees. Make sure your knees are tracking in the same direction as your feet. Slide those hips back. Lift up through the core. Chest open. Head in line with spine. And just find a little wave here. Get used to that foundation before we move into our first shred. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, take a nice dance as you come down through this pose. Inhale up. Exhale, hands at prayer position. And now we are ready for our first shred. If you have your weights, you can use them here, bring them in front of you. We're going to do 8 rounds, 4 rounds of one thing, and then 4 rounds of something else. So first is our temple fists of fire. So if you have the weights, you'll bring them here. If you're not using weights today, bring those fists into this beautiful core strengthening area and show us your power. And if you don't want to bring your hands up, there's always options. Bringing your hands out in front of you. Find what works for you. First round slow and then build up. The next round will be some cardio stuff. So you can use the weights here or no weights. Hands coming out in front and you can move side to side a little bit. Shimmy here, pushing into the feet. So 4 rounds and 4 rounds. And we will get into our temple position. Remember, chest open, head in line with spine. If you have your weights, pick them up now. And inhale up. Let's begin. Exhale. So first round, really find your foundation. So if you have the weights, pulling them down. If you want your hands out, remember, find what works for you. So it could be here. Pushing into the earth. We have 2 seconds and 1. So put your weights down for a moment. Inhale up. Exhale. Maybe rotate through the wrist. Pick the weights up if you're using the weights. Or ha. I love a good ha. Really powerful ha. You can feel that ha generating through your body. So maybe you want to go a little faster. We have 7 seconds. So start to find a rhythm. Ha. Exhaling on that exertion. And 10 seconds of rest. Nearly went over there. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, rotate through. Pick up the weights if you're using weights. Find your position. Ha. 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 Really ha. Use the ground. Push into the ground to lift up. We have 10 seconds. Feel that power. Pull it into you as you use your arms through the sky, into the body. 1 second. Weights down. Inhale. Really take that time in the rest to find a little stretch and space. Last round here. Inhale. Ha. 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 So really find the rhythm. What works for you? This is the pace I go for my shred. We have 5 seconds. Find what's working for you. Day to day, it could be very different. And 1. Bring those weights down. Take a nice inhale. And exhale. Just come through the body, side to side. So now, had a little extra time there in between those rounds. Find your position. So first round, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Like this action, straight in front of you. So weights or no weights. But think about really using the power, keeping the arms no higher than the shoulders, out in front of you. 2 seconds and 1. Weights down. Bring your hands to your thighs. Maybe come in. 1 shoulder, 2 shoulders. Pick up the weights if you're using them. Maybe we start to go a little faster. Maybe moving side to side with it just a little bit. Think of those arms, really focusing in on arm strength. We have 7 beautiful seconds of this second round. Starting to feel the shoulders, these build up. Bringing those weights down. Hands in, exhale. Use that rest time to get all the breath you can. And let's go. Weights, no weights. Start to maybe bring it into this shred. Think of power. This is not aggressive, but this is a powerful, controlled 5 seconds. movement, pushing away what we don't need. Woo! And then bring your hands, exhale, inhale, exhale, 2 seconds, get those weights. If you've got the weights, last round, so really getting into the cardio if you want here, but really focusing in. Take your brain to what you're using, really using those arms, using everything, but really strengthening through. 2 seconds, and woo, 1. Let's put those weights down in front of you. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, come down. Bring your hands onto your thighs. That bell is telling me that we are done with that first shred. A really good warm-up shred. Take your shoulder in again on the right. Exhale. Inhale, nice deep breaths. Exhale, over with the left. And then come in to center. Exhale, hands through. Exhale, hands at prayer position. And then turn your toes parallel and start to ninja lunge. So your hands can be here on your thighs, stretching through, or down on the floor. Send those hips back. And then when you get to the front, your bent knee at the front of the mat, pivot round and step back into downward facing dog. Have a little pedal. Come down on the knees. Sit on the heels and woo! Let's rotate through the wrists. Find that chest expansion. So hands, palms open. Inhale here. Exhale. And then release your hands as we move into our second shred, aptly named I Love Plank. So these 2 blocks that I talked about earlier, this is where you can use those. So place those at the front of the mat if you want to use those, on the edges of the mat. So sometimes using the blocks can be nice, a little elevation, nice and easy and soft on the shoulders. So if you're using your blocks, there are several options. You can come back, bring your knees all the way back here and lift up through the core, and hand is going to come to heart center, like so, for 8 whole rounds. Or you can lift up into a plank, keeping a nice bend in the knees, pushing down through the fingertips. Same action to heart center. 8 rounds of that. If you don't have the blocks or you don't want to use the blocks, several options here too. You can come down. If you don't want to use the blocks, you can bring your hands to the ground and same action. Bring the knees back, lifting up through the core, coming to this position or here. And the trick is your hips will want to move and shimmy. Try and keep them nice and neutral and central, and use your core and that arm strength to lift. So first round nice and slow. This one definitely builds up. So let's start that timer. Away we go. I'm going to bring the blocks here. I'll show you several options. We have 5 seconds, so find your position. So remember, you can either start here on your knees. Try this, lifting here to your heart center, head in line with spine. You could be lifted up in plank, softness in the knees, keep that bend in the knees, lift through the core, and keep the head in line with the spine. We have 5 seconds, and that first round, woo, will be done. I went a little faster there. Come back, and I just like to come back into a nice child's pose, stretch out through the arms, take a couple of breaths. I'll show you without the blocks. So if you're off the blocks and you're in plank, you're coming here and slowly building up. Like I say, we have 8 rounds of this. So we want to pace ourselves and build up strength. 8 seconds. Really concentrate, pushing through those fingers, using the ground. 2 seconds and 1. Knees down, stretch out into child's pose. Take some very nice breaths here. If you're on the blocks, come back on the blocks. Wherever you are, lift through that core. And maybe you want to start experimenting with a bit more of a pace. Make sure the hands go to the heart, push down through the fingertips. Take the weight off the wrist, lift through the core. Keep the head in line with spine and stretch out. Whew. I know there's a lot of things to think about, but we really want to make sure that we're nice and safe with our foundation and our alignment. Head in line with spine. The head wants to dip when we get tired. Let's go. 4th round, halfway through. We can do this. Think how strong we are. 3 seconds. Keep those hips facing down. And away we go. 10 seconds of glorious rest. Come back. Okay, find your position. Lift up through the core. Really lifting up. Using the ground to give you that lift. Keep the head in line with the spine. Use your abdominals. 7 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. So either stretch out in child's pose, or maybe you want to come up and take a nice expansive stretch. 2 seconds left. Find your position. Lift up to the heart. Think about that love. I love plank. Well, maybe you don't right now, but you will afterwards when you feel all of that strength. 9 seconds left. Woo! Keep on going. Keep breathing. Keep pushing yourself. Woo! And there we are. That deserved a big woo. So either child's pose or up here, something that works for you. I'm going to come off the blocks, show you off the blocks again. So here we are, 7th round. Woo! And feeling those arms, triceps, shoulders, lift up through the core. 8 seconds. Let the core guide you with strength here. 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Come back onto your heels. I'm going to take a nice expansive stretch because that's what I need right now. I'm going back on the blocks. Show you on the blocks. Find yourself. Okay, last round. Last time you have to do this today. Woo! Remember, I love plank. Keep on going. Lifting up. Lift the core. 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Come down on your heels. And if you have the blocks, push them away a bit. Come into a child's pose. You can have a child's pose up here. And that celebratory bell telling us we made it. We're strong, powerful, soulful warriors. Take a little side to side, gather your breath. I'm right there with you. You can hear I'm really breathing deep in and out of the mouth. Then take your hands, arms over to the right side. And take a nice, expansive breath. Stretch through the left side of the body. Breathe into that side and then walk your hands over all the way to the other side, over to the left. Feel that stretch down the right side. Visualize that beautiful, expansive light and space through the right side of your body. And then come back into center. And exhale, lift through the core and walk your hands up, tented fingers all the way back. Inhale, if you can go beyond, take a moment here to stretch through the front, through the chest. Maybe your hands are up here. Find what works just to take a little chest expansion here. And then bring your feet from underneath you and come all the way around as we move into the icing on the cake. Maybe we don't want to think about cake right now, but this is the finisher. So triceps, chest, little dip, micro pulses. So if you have the blocks, you can use the blocks here. 4 rounds of reverse tricep dips, and then we will come over into a like a minuscule Chaturanga Push-Up. So your hips, your knees will go back behind your hips and you'll lift through the core, micro pulses. So 4 rounds and 4 rounds. If you don't have the blocks, that's absolutely fine. We bring our hands here, same thing, we'll lift up, find that position, and from here, pulse. If that feels too much, because we've been on the wrists and it was a lot, you can come down on your forearms, Open up through the chest and push, 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 push your forearms into the ground and push through. And you can feel that. That's a great way to build up that strength. And same with the micro. You can come down here and push here. That's a great way to build up that strength. So find a position that works for you. I'm going to start up on these blocks, 10 seconds as we lead in. So 4 rounds of these reverse tricep dips, and they build up. So lift your hips, so let the shoulders come down the back. Take a nice slow pulse in this first 20 seconds. So you're pushing into your hands, using the earth. Keep the head in line with the spine. The head often wants to do this. Keep everything active. Push in through those triceps. Shoulders down the back. 1 second. Woo! And just come here. Inhale and exhale. Just give yourself a nice little draped hug here. Then come back. I'll show you without the blocks. So coming here, just maybe take it up a little bit. So keep those elbows tracking along the body. They sometimes want to wing out, so keep them in the same direction as your wrists. Push through those fingertips, push through the palms, starting to find that they really are awakening, igniting that fire in those triceps. Come down. Inhale and exhale. Breathe into that back body. Let those arms drape for a moment. Take some breaths here. Find your position. So if you're going to pulse a little faster in this more shred-like pace, then just take micro pulses. Really get into those arms. Lift, lift, lift. We have 5 seconds of this third round, and then just one more round of this, because I think that's all we can take. You can cross your legs and take a little hug. That feels really nice, stretching out the shoulder blades. I'm going to go back onto the blocks, and here we go. Last round. So little micro pulses, right? Push, push, push. Really lift, lift, lift. Engage the core. Be alert. Head in line with spine. We have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just take a moment here. Inhale, exhale. Give yourself a hug and use your hands to sort of pull the shoulders and breathe into that back. Find space in that back body. Take an extra little breath here, and then come around to your tabletop position. So take those knees back, so not right under the hips. Take them back. Lift through the core. So you're either up on the blocks or you're down here on the ground. I'm going to start on the blocks and then show you both positions. We have 4 seconds. Lift the head up. Remember, elbows going same way as hands. Really important. So pushing into the earth. Small pulses. Push those fingertips in so that you really engage the muscles. Head in line with spine. Lift through the core. Little pulses. 8 seconds. Starting to feel that foundation. This is what it feels like. 3 seconds. 2 and 1. So either come back into that child's pose and just breathe through the body, or you can take a nice expansive. Now, if you're not using the blocks, you'll be here. Align those arms and start to take a little bit more of a pulse. But micro bends, right? We don't want to go too far. That's not good. We want to stay up here in that nice engaged muscles. 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. So you can come back on your heels and maybe take a nice rotation of the wrist, in on those wrists. 3 seconds. So hands in front of you. Find that position. Make sure your elbows are going back. And maybe you want to move into a bit more of this pace. Really pushing through the fingers. We have 10 seconds. Lift through the core. The core is engaged. The core is protecting and keeping you going. 3, 2, 1. And yes, I feel you triceps. I feel you arms. Woo, 3 seconds. Okay, I'm back on the blocks to show you the blocks again. Find your position. Last round. So, can you make it nice and small and pulsing? Woo, really getting in for that final moment. 10 seconds. This is your last shred of today, and then heading into cool down. 3, 2, 1. Oh yes. Ease those blocks away from the mat if you have them, and find that child's pose. Sway side to side, the bell of victory. We made it through all of that, and that, my friends, was a lot. Come over to the right. Breathe through the side body. Slowing that breath down, come back to center. Come over to the left. Stretch through the right body. Take the moment, slow that breath down nice and easily. Don't force anything. And then on your exhale, tented fingers. I can just about make that. My arms have truly worked. Find that chest expansion. Again, hands can be up here. Take a nice breath here. Release your hands. And I'm going to face you here so you can see. Inhale, breath of freedom. Open your arms. Exhale, wrap your right arm over your left in an eagle wrap. You can stay here with back of palms facing together, or wrap all the way around, or give yourself a hug. All great options. Breathing into that back body. Inhale. I'll turn this way. Inhale. Bring your arms up if they're in the eagle wrap. On the exhale, lift through the core and round a little bit through the back as your hands and arms come down. Inhale to rise, lift up. Exhale. Breathe into that back body. Inhale, rise up like a phoenix rising. Exhale. Breathe into that back body. Come back to center. Open your arms in the breath of freedom, and then left arm over right, either wrap or palms together, back of the palms together, or a nice hug. Whatever it is, breathe into the back body through those shoulder blades. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lift up through the core. Breathe between the shoulder blades. Get spaciousness there. We truly worked through everything, strengthening. Now we get a chance to find space and softness through the body. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, open your arms, and then bring yourself into a little hug here. Bring your right arm up and bend the elbow and guide with your left arm. Guide with your left hand, guide your right elbow back. So try to not let it wing out here. Keep it close to your head. Keep your head in line with your spine, and bring your hand just gently down your back, and maybe ease very gently with the left arm just to get that lovely tricep stretch rather. Long, lean muscles. Stretching the muscles after working them so hard is such a wonderful thing. Feels great. Swap over. So left arm back, and is also great for it, developing those long, lean muscles. Inhale and exhale. Just take a moment here. If that feels too much, this is always a great option to come across the body this way. So find what works for you there. Then swoosh your feet from underneath you and come down. I like to come down on the forearms and then my back, and find my position here. Have your feet away from the glutes a little bit so that there's room and space. Inhale, a nice what I call moving drawbridge. So inhale, push through the heels, lift your hips, and let your arms come overhead if that's accessible to you. On the exhale, bring your arms down and let everything connect back to the earth. On your inhale, lift up through the hips, push into the heels, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, come all the way down. Really nice for that shoulder mobility. We work those. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, last time, come all the way down and come into center. Bring your hands to where the thighs meet the hips, that little point there just below the hip flexors. Push on those thighs with your palms. Push your thighs away from your torso. And you might feel a little bit more space in the lower back. Breathe into that space and massage your legs just for a moment. Maybe shake your arms just for a moment, get a little energy through there. Bring your hands to the side. Bring your knees over your hips and just sway side to side there. Pushing gently down on your knees, just give your lower back a little bit more of a massage. Inhale, lift everything up. And on your exhale, let everything go into Shavasana. Just let those shoulders come in towards one another very gently, keeping the shoulders where they are rather than forcing them down, but just let them come in a bit to that point where you just feel the chest open a little bit more, get a little expansion through there, and then bring your arms away from your body and let your legs come wide, if that feels comfortable. And feel the body melt into the floor. Let those muscles soften now. Any gripping that you have, find that gripping and just actively tell yourself to let that go. Let that soften and relax. This is a time when your body is now absorbing all of that strength that you just activated. So now let that body, your body, absorb this in the most beautiful, soft way. This is your reward for all of that strengthening that you just did. Enjoy this moment. Let the breath just become natural and soften through your face. Let your arm muscles melt into the floor. You can pause the video here and take as long as you like in Shavasana, as long as you need. If you're staying with me, just take a couple more breaths, moments of silence here before we go into the closing ceremony. Start to come into the body again. Be aware of your breath. Run your thumb over your fingertips one by one, connecting with that physical sensation. Wiggle your toes. Maybe windshield wiper the feet and rotate the wrists. Feeling the sensation through the body. And then maybe drawing your legs towards one another in the midline. Taking your arms up overhead in a morning stretch. Inhale, take in a fresh breath. Exhale out the mouth, release. One more just like that. Inhale deeply through the body. And as you exhale, slowly draw your heels towards your glutes and bring your arms back down to the side and roll over with bent knees to one side towards me. Taking a moment here to pause, to feel the earth beneath you, that earth that supports you. And then from there, gently and mindfully, using those nice strong arms to support you, come back all the way up into our easy pose. As we began, so shall we end. Feel the earth beneath you. Inhale, open your arms in breath of freedom, and exhale, give yourself a well-deserved hug, acknowledging all that you did today, showing up and giving it your all. Wherever that was for you today, that is where you should be. I thank you for joining me. Bring your hands in prayer position. Thank you so much. Namaste.